StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one book, one show, one daily masterclass that is called, all of this is all under one umbrella with the same name. That name is Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is how to step up your work ethic. How can you have a stronger work ethic? Get more done in less time. Get more done in the same amount of time. Just get more done, period, regardless of the time. How do you step up your work ethic? Now, before we get into this, let me remind everybody that I have a text line where I want you to text me and tell me the best insight you got from today's masterclass, the best idea that was seeded in your mind, something that you thought about before, maybe you were even doing before a while back, but you haven't done it for a while, but now you're back in touch with it because I have resurfaced that idea to the front of your mind. If you have a question about anything that I said here today, if you have a question, if I have a follow-up masterclass or a supplemental masterclass on something that I mentioned here today that is not listed below in the show notes, send me a text. My number is 305-384-6894. When you text me, not only will you be able to ask your question or offer your comment and get a response from me, you will also be receiving my daily motivation text messages every morning that I send out to everybody who's in my texting community. My number again, 305-384-6894. Today's topic again, how to step up your work ethic. People ask me all the time about how they can be more productive, or they may share a challenge that comes from their desire to be more productive, but they haven't quite gotten to the level of productivity that they want to be at. Or people ask me something around, how can I be more focused in my work habits? I just want to get more done in the same amount of time, or I feel like I'm not getting enough done, or I hear this challenge all the time. And I think that because of what I talk about in my brand and the way that I put my material out, usually when people have this challenge, I'm one of the people that they turn to, and I understand. And that's why we're doing this masterclass here today. So I don't even need to give too much more introduction to this topic. Let's just get right into it so I can answer this question. The topic, once again, is how to step up your work ethic. Point number one, have a reason. If you want to step up your work ethic, one of the key elements of stepping up your work ethic is not tactical at all. It is not, all right, you need to have your calendar set up this way, or you need to put your computer over here, or you need to have an app on your phone that blocks you from getting on Facebook. No, those are tactics. So you don't attack the biggest thing that you can do. The number one strategy you can have for stepping up your work ethic and your productivity and your efficiency. In other words, you want to get more done every single day. The number one way to do so is to have a damn reason. Why do you want to get more done every day? Listen, everybody, hard work is hard to do. That's why it's called hard work. So if you're having challenges doing the hard work every single day, and it's hard to get yourself to do more hard work every day, listen, I 100% understand. I get it that it's hard to do hard work. It's supposed to be hard. All right, that's why it's called what it's called. Don't do work or aim to do more work just so that you can say to yourself or to others that you did a certain amount of work or that you did more work. Understand that there is no shortcut to doing hard work. Okay, so if you thought that this masterclass is going to give you some shortcut to how to do more hard work, or to do hard work faster, or to make hard work a certain way easy, not really. That's not what this is about. There's no shortcut to hard work. This is why most people don't do too much of hard work. But there is a way, however, to go over the top of hard work. I talked about the concept of going over the top in my book, Work on Your Game. The situation being, I was on a plane sitting in economy class, and someone reclined their seat and it was leaning on my knees. I asked them to unrecline their seat, move their seat up. They decided to do so. They complied and did so. But my thought was, well, what if the next flight I get on, somebody does the same thing? I probably got to stop sitting in these seats. And so I went over the top of the problem, not by eliminating the concept of reclining seats, which still exists, not by hoping that every person that I meet is nice enough to not recline their seat on my legs and most people might not be that nice. But by going over top of the problem, by eliminating myself, removing myself from that situation, by always either getting a business class or premium class or exit row seat. Therefore, anyone who is happen to be seated in front of me, even if they do recline their seat, there is so much space between me and them that it couldn't possibly hit my knees. I went over the top of the problem. So how do you go over the top of the challenge of doing hard work, since I just told you that it's not going to get any easier? The way you go over the top is by having a target that is bigger than being productive. So any of you who's listening to this, and one of your challenges is, I want to be more productive. And I know who you are. I know who you are. I heard from you before. You want to be more productive. You need a bigger goal than just be productive. If that's your biggest goal, you're always going to have this problem. No one is productive just to say that they're productive. People are productive when they have a reason to be productive. People are disciplined when they have a reason to be disciplined. In my book, The Third Day, which you should be reading already because you should have it by now because you placed your order. Well, if you don't have it by now, that means it's almost there. Or if you didn't get it, then it's almost there, it's in the mail. Now, if you didn't place your order yet, then that makes no sense. That's inexplicable to me. Go to thirddaybook.com and claim your free copy of the book, The Third Day. It is coming out. It's actually already out by the time you're listening to this. So, one of the keys to being disciplined is having a reason to be disciplined. What do you care about enough that you're willing to have discipline and to exert discipline upon yourself, enforce discipline upon yourself in order to get it? If you don't have any reason to want to be disciplined, discipline is always going to be a struggle for you. You're always going to be beating yourself up trying to be disciplined. It's the same thing when it comes to hard work. If discipline feels like punishment to you and hard work feels like punishment to you, is because you don't have a reason to be disciplined or a reason to do all that hard work. That's why it's so hard for you. That's why it's a grind. It shouldn't be a grind. Listen to episode 1675. The title is Why Your Discipline Feels Like Punishment. The reason it feels like that, and you can substitute hard work for this and basically listen to that whole masterclass and get the same idea, is that you don't have a reason. Have a target that is bigger than being productive so that while you're going after the target, you become productive in the process of going after the target. The target is the thing that you really care about. That target or reason or your why, as some people like to say, is yours personally. And that reason only needs to make sense to you. It doesn't need to make sense to everybody, but it does need to make sense to you. The better you connect with this reason, the more easily you will work hard to reach it. When you're really clear on your reason for going after what you're going after, then it's really easy to do hard work because you're going after the main thing. You're not going after the hard work. You're going after the bigger thing that is bigger than hard work. So everything that goes underneath that umbrella of your main reason, it's easy to do those things because you do them just naturally in the process of going after the big things. You're not even focused on the hard work. Hard work becomes easy when you're not thinking about the fact that it's hard work. It's just like any of you who works out or any of you who does if you do cardio, any of you who runs and you get that feeling that they call the runner's high. Now, there have been experiments and studies done on this, whether it exists or not. But one thing that I do know is that when you're doing any form of cardio, you eventually get into a zone. And you get into the zone to where you're not really feeling the fact that your lungs are working very hard or that your muscles are maybe burning or doing more exercise than they might be used to doing, or maybe you get in the zone only when your muscles get conditioned for it. But the thing is, you don't feel every step that you're taking and every mile that you're running when you get into a zone of running. You're really just focused on the outcome, which is finishing the race or running at a certain pace, or maybe you're trying to pass somebody or whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're just enjoying the music or the audio that you're listening to in your ears, but you're not even focused on the fact that you're doing such hard work because there's a bigger target focused in your mind. Now, maybe when you stop running, maybe then you start feeling the fact that you ran as fast as you did or for as long as you did. But in that moment, while you're focused on the thing, you're not thinking about everything else that you're going through. That's having a bigger target. That's what I mean by going over the top of whatever the hard work or the discipline or the productivity happens to be. That should not be the biggest goal. It's part of the process, but that should never, ever be the biggest goal if you want to increase your hard work or increase your discipline or increase your productivity. You need that reason. The better you connect with that reason, and it's only for you, the more easily you can move yourself to work hard and be disciplined. The most constant hard workers, the people that you know of and that you hear about and see who work really hard and are very productive and very disciplined in their work, The reason that they do it is not because they're performing some type of magic. It's not because they're just more diligent than you or that they're more serious than you are about what they do. The reason that they're able to do that and it looks like magic is because they have reasons to do that hard work that make the hard work part of a much bigger picture. So the hard work kind of fades into the background. It happens, but it's not the main focus. Point number two. Today's topic, once again, is how to step up your work ethic. Have a duplicatable process and hammer that process. What does it mean to hammer the process? It means do it over and over again and do not deviate. That's how you work hard. You want to step up your work ethic, have a duplicatable process for your work ethic, and then just follow the damn process over and over and over again. Is that simple enough? Is that clear enough? Understand that work ethic is not just about what you do today or any one day. Work ethic is about what you do every day. Working hard every day is a tall task when you're trying to figure out what to do every day all over again. Every day you get to work, you get to the gym, you get to your office, you get to your computer at home, and you're trying to figure out, all right, what am I going to do today? All right, it's hard to have a solid work ethic when every day you had to reinvent the wheel and come up with a brand new plan as to what you're going to do. However, a duplicatable process, also known as a routine or a system, they solve this challenge. If you have a routine or a system, you no longer have to figure out what to do every day. You just do what you already have in place. A lot of what becomes sustained success in our lives is simply us, human beings, doing the same things over and over again to where it becomes predictable, it becomes routine, it becomes habitual. We're just following the system, doing it over and over and over again to the point that we're not even thinking about the fact that we're doing it. And then one day we look up and wow, look at this success that we have created. That's how it works. You come up with the system, it becomes habitual because you do it over and over again, and you create success, and you're not even noticing that you've created the success because you're so focused on following the system, because the system is the bigger outcome that you're after. That's the reason, the why, the goal is to just follow the system. When you're just focused on following the system, you create success and don't even realize that you've done it. One day you look up and you have all this success, and you created such a big gap, that separation day between you and your opponents. Again, I talk about all this in my newest book, The Third Day, which if you don't have, get it at thirddaybook.com. While you are following the process, you're able to create that success. How do you get a process? How do you get a duplicatable process, a system? Figure out what needs to be done, write it down, and then do the same thing every time. That's it. I mean, if you're asking a question about how to step up your work ethic, that means you already know how to do the work. All right, so it's not new to you figuring out what the work is. What you're trying to figure out is the work ethic, which is the repeatable part of the work. So you know what it looks like to have a great day at work. All you got to do is write down or make sure you suss out, codify exactly what that process is of having that great day at work, and then just do it over and over again. I talked about codifying your knowledge in episode 1101. If you have not listened to that, it's one of my favorite episodes of this show, one of the most popular episodes I ever did. Codification of your knowledge. Again, it's episode 1101 if you have not listened to that one before. Duplicatable processes, folks. This is how you step up your work ethic. People who seem to just get so much done, the reason that they're getting so much done, they are not geniuses, even though they may play one on TV. The reason they're able to get so much done is because they have a duplicatable process, and all they do is just follow the process over and over again. As a matter of fact, you can be the opposite of a genius. You can be a doofus and create success if you have a duplicatable process that works and you just follow it over and over again. All right, so easy that even a caveman can do it. If you want to step up your work ethic, make your work predictable. Simple enough concept. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to step up your work ethic. Create an environment that is conducive to a solid, predictable work ethic. If you want to have duplicatable processes that you follow over and over again, and you want to have a stepped up work ethic, and you have a reason, you already know what your reason is, here's the last step before you actually start doing it. Set up your environment so that it agrees with your goals. Set up an environment that goes along with what you're actually looking to achieve. If you're a chef, for example, cooking in a high-end restaurant, you probably need a good set of knives in order to cook in a high-end restaurant. You're gonna need some knives to cut some things up. You're probably gonna need some working refrigerators, and you need all the ingredients that are necessary to make everything that's on the menu. You can't make potatoes, you don't have any potatoes. So you're not gonna be able to make certain foods. You're gonna need some type of butter, you're gonna need some salt, you might need some milk, you're gonna need water to come out of the faucets. You need the equipment in place for you to actually do the things that you want to do. So if you're that chef, you already have the skill, you already know how to make the food, you already have a reason because you just want to make beautiful food, you want to make art with your food. Okay, now you need the equipment. All right, now you need the cutting boards, now you need the oven, now you need the actual ingredients, and you need people to come in and actually order stuff so you can make it. This is making an environment that is conducive to a solid, predictable work ethic. Just put the pieces in place that you're going to need to do the thing that you want to do. If you want to win a Grammy Award, you're probably going to need access to a studio. If you want to run a marathon, you're probably going to need some sneakers. If you want to lift weights, you might need a gym. You might need a membership. All right, again, simple things, but ask yourself, for the work ethic that you want to step up and the outcomes that you want to achieve via that work ethic, do you have the actual tools in place? Do you have the ingredients in place to do it even if you wanted to? Do you have the ingredients in place? You can't win a marathon without running sneakers. You're probably gonna need some kind of watch or something that can track your runs, or maybe one of those straps that go on your arm, you can put your phone inside of it. You're gonna need some way to track what you're doing and how far you're running if you're gonna go run a marathon. If you're gonna be a singer or a rapper or a music producer, you're probably gonna need to get into a recording studio at some point. Now, do you have these pieces in place? And if not, how can you get them? And if you don't have a plan for either one, all right, what are you talking about? This is what you want to do. It doesn't make any sense. If you're an athlete, you're gonna need a gym, you might need some trainers, you're gonna need water, you're gonna need ice for recovery from your workouts, you're gonna need towels to wipe up your sweat, you're gonna need some workout gear to wear while you're working out. If you're running an online business, you probably need a smartphone, a computer, and some consistent Wi-Fi access. These all seem pretty simple. So since they're so simple, set yourself up for the work ethic that you want by making sure that you have the basics in place so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Since these are so simple, right? This is common sense, these things that I'm saying right now. Okay, then do you have them in place? All right, you want to get better at following up on phone calls in your CRM. Okay, do you have a system set up on how you're going to follow up? Does the CRM let you know who needs to be followed up with every single day? Do you have time blocked off in your calendar every single day that says, this is the hour or 2 or 4 that I spend following up on people in my CRM? Do you know exactly what you're saying to each person based on the stage that they're in your sales process? Do you have these simple, common sense things set up so that you can actually execute on this plan for your stepped up work ethic? Or are you just talking about having a stepped up work ethic, but you have no plans in place to actually do it? I'm letting you think about that one there, because this is the crux of this whole conversation right here. Do you have the pieces in place to actually do the thing that you said you want to do? You want to be a basketball player, you want to go to the NBA, you probably need to figure out where you're going to practice basketball. You probably need a basketball. You might need an air pump, so when your ball runs out of air, you can put some more air in it. You don't want to have a flat basketball, but you're trying to go play for the New York Knicks. Do you have the pieces in place to do the stuff that you're talking about? If you were a singer, where's the studio? And how often can you get into it? And when you get to the studio, do you have your lyrics ready? Do you have your songs ready? Do you know what you're going to do in that studio? Because listen, I'm not a musician, but the last time I checked, studio time was not free. So if you're paying $200 an hour every time you walk into the studio, you probably don't want to get to the studio and then realize, okay, now let me actually prepare for the songs that I'm going to record. You probably want to be ready to record as soon as you step in the studio, since you're paying about a minute, right? I mean, that's what I would think. And again, I'm not in the music industry, so any of you who has better information, you can let me know. If you're a YouTuber, do you have a camera? If you make wine, where are you getting your grapes? Do you have the pieces in place to actually have the work ethic that you want to have? If you don't have the pieces in place, if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't know what you're doing, if you got your chance today, how are you trying to say you're trying to step up your work ethic? That's just a rhetorical question I'm asking right here. If you got the call today to do the thing that would be a reflection of your stepped up work ethic, do you have the tools in place to do it right now today? Could you do it right now? And if not, what are those pieces that you're missing, and how do you get them? And how quickly can you have them? Are you writing it down? Are you looking them up right now? Are you making out your plan right now? You should be. Let's recap today's class, which is how to step up your work ethic. People ask me all the time about productivity. How can I be more productive? Or they just lament that they are not as productive as they want to be, or they want to be more focused in their work habits. Today, I'm going to help answer that unasked question. Point number one, have a reason. Hard work is hard to do. That's why it's called hard work. So don't work just to say that you worked, because that will not last long. There is no shortcut to doing hard work, but there is a way to go over the top of the hard work. In other words, to minimize it and make that not the main focus, because it's hard to have hard work as your main focus, because as human beings, we are wired to be lazy, all of us. So you don't want hard work to be your main focus. You're going against your very nature as a human being. What you do want to have as your focus is a bigger reason, a why, a target that is yours personally, that makes sense to you, regardless if it makes sense to anybody else. And the better you connect with that reason, the more easily you will work hard in order to reach it. And while hard work just fades into the background of getting that outcome. Point number two, have a duplicatable process in place and hammer that process, i.e. do the process over and over again. Make a plan and work your plan. Work ethic is not about what you do today or this week. It's about what you do every single day. Duplicatable processes, called routines or systems, solve the challenge of having to figure out what to do every single day. Do not figure out what to do when you get to work. You should already know what you're going to do before you get to work. If you want to step up your work ethic, make your work ethic predictable through having a system. Again, this is covered in detail in my book, The Third Day. Point number three, create an environment that is conducive to a solid, predictable work ethic. If you're a chef, you probably need some knives, you need refrigerators, ingredients, you need some water coming out of the faucets. If you're an athlete, you need a gym, trainers, water, ice, recovery, towels, and workout gear. If you're running an online business, you need a smartphone, a laptop, Wi-Fi access. These all seem pretty simple. So since they're simple, set yourself up for the work ethic you want by making sure you have the basics in place so that you can do the things that you want to do. If you're a singer, a rapper, or a producer, where's the studio and how often can you get into it and can you afford it? If you're a YouTuber, where's your camera and how are you going to edit your videos? If you make wine, where are you getting your grapes from? Make sure that you have an environment. I'm talking about your world, the life that you live on a day-to-day basis. Make sure your environment is conducive to the productivity that you are aiming for. If your environment is not conducive to it, you do not have a plan, you have a wish. We don't do wishing over here. You want help with this? Two things you can do. First of all, claim your free copy of my book, The Third Day, by going to thirddaybook.com. Second of all, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can join the university level and get access to all of my courses right now and all my masterclass courses. Or you can join the Third Day Mastermind group, or you can get one-on-one coaching directly from me. All of that is at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Send me a text, tell me the best thing you got from this class. My number is 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre, all